Hi there, I'm Leah Parsons. I'm a spiritual advisor and counselor, and today I'm coming in to talk to you and share some information that might resonate with you around challenges you might be having with number three. So, in that, Becky has asked that I deliver some messaging around that. And first of all, the number three is our solar plexus area. That's also our third chakra. It lies directly in the middle between our lower earthly type of chakras and the higher realms of chakras. It's right in the middle. It's our power center. It's our sense of control and agency of our life and our world around us. So having a balanced solar plexus and third chakra is so important. If our energy is too much in that area, we tend to dominate, we tend to talk over people. Our ego is driving the bus, so to speak. So our ego is telling us all the things that we should be doing and shouldn't be doing. So when we're living from that place, we're not tuned into our inner guidance system, the true knowledge, the intuition of who we are, and we're not getting aligned up with our energy system in order to flow. Instead of, we're in our head a lot. We're in our head and we're comparing ourselves and we're just not in alignment. So our third chakra, so first of all, maybe just think about, how do you feel in that area? How do you feel when you touch right here where your ribs meet? Right? There's a feeling there. So it's important to kind of tune into it. We can even sit in stillness and kind of tune into that energy and see how we feel there. Because it's also when our ego is on autopilot and it's telling us a lot of things, we know it's ego because our ego is not kind. Our ego is trying to either put us down, put other people down. It's righteous, it's judgmental of ourselves and of course of others. And when we're in a negative kind of mindset and we wake up and we spiral in a negative pattern of thinking, when we're judging the world and we're angry at people and we take everything offensively, that is an ego-driven mind. So what do we do when we're caught in our ego minds? How do we get out of that way of thinking? First of all, we have to pay attention. We have to pay attention to what's going on. So often we are caught up in sloppy thinking, being pulled and pushed, and the external world. So when we walk out into the world, we're allowing the external world to impact us in ways that really unstabilize us inside. Right? So we want to get centered within ourselves, take control over what's happening so that when we step out into the world and in our life every day, we're not so impacted by everything around us. Because when we are impacted by everything around us, we don't have our sense of agency. We don't have our sense of power over our life. And it's not a good feeling to be always waking up and maybe we're in a great mood until somebody says something negative to us. See, external world impacting us because we're not centered in our internal world. So what do we do about that? We've created this, and no fault of our own. We've been programming ourselves for years due to our situation, due to our life. So we've been implementing all these experience of our world, and then we come up with these beliefs, and then we think our beliefs are true, but our beliefs are not necessarily true just because we believe them. If me and you and 5 other people were in a lineup and something happened in front of us, I might be triggered. The person next to me might think it's funny. The person next to her might think it's offensive. The next person may have zero impact. So it really does impact us due to our lens of the world. When we change the lens of our world, everything in our life changes. But it's not an instant fix. What do we do first? Pay attention to what our mind is telling us. Question that mind. Ask yourself, is that true? Or is that just something I've been believing all my life? Or is that something somebody told me and then I believed it and I never questioned it? We have to question our thoughts. So we become excavators of our own soul. Because in every single one of you is this beautiful soul full of love and experiences, and that ego mind getting in our way, telling us negative things. It covers it over like the clouds cover over the sun. But the sun didn't go anywhere, and neither did your beautiful light. So it's really important for you to know that. So once we start paying attention, we meet those thoughts with love and compassion. Because if a thought comes up and we don't like it, or we feel like, are you still hung up on that? Are you still going over that from 5 weeks ago, what Joey said to you at work? You see, we'll start beating up on ourselves. That's the whole negative spiral, and it forms loops in our brain. And we all have them. Every single one of us has them. But when we start these loops and beliefs, we get caught up in them and we don't even see them. So paying attention is the first key to come out of a negative way of thinking. Number 2, you know it's your ego driving the bus because it's not saying loving, kind things to you. Your essence and your soul of who you truly are wants good things for you. And if you've been, like many people, and I once was too, if you've been a person who has been on autopilot, not trusting life because of things that happen to you, not trusting situations, when you're in that state, your whole system is on hyper alert, looking around the corner, so to speak, for the next bad thing to happen. And the ego mind will come in and it'll tell you, you have to think this way to protect yourself. But that's not protecting yourself, and that's no way to live in a state of heightened anxiety. And in today's world, it's really easy to be stressed when we're being pulled in all these different directions. So taking time to sit with yourself, to notice what's going on, to question those thoughts, ask yourself, is it true? To tune in, really tune in. See how you feel energetically in this area. And then look at ways that you can actually stand up for yourself, speak your truth with integrity and love. To question, is this what I really want? Is this still working for me? Is this a thought that I can let go of because it's no longer serving me today? And perhaps it served you your whole life. We can be thankful that it served us and still let something go. But the ego, we don't want to argue with the ego. So what happens with a lot of people that I work with that have these challenges, because we all have this challenge. It's a big challenge to overcome. But what happens when we start arguing with the ego? It's a no-win situation because, again, you're stuck in your head. And if you want to tune in to your sense of agency, your sense of being in control in your life, you want to come from a place of alignment in your heart. So to do that, you have to kind of break through these loops that are in your mind and drop into the heart space. And you need stillness and silence to get there. And you may be thinking, oh, I know, the meditation, the stillness, and the silence, I've tried that, it doesn't work for me. But I guarantee you, if you keep coming back to yourself and sitting even for 5 minutes, meditation just means that you're paying attention to what's going on inside. So you don't have to empty your mind. And in fact, I invite you to allow your mind to come to the surface because that's an invitation. What your mind is looping around all day, that's your doorway into yourself. That's your invitation to say, I get to look at this now. And I don't have to believe everything I think. And all of a sudden, you'll start feeling that this area inside of you you get more space. You'll get more space inside of you when you start paying attention to it. So first, we don't have to look at, I want to go to Z and I'm only at A. I'm so caught up in my mind. How do I get to this place that she's talking about? You get to it one day at a time. And I can honestly tell you that I never felt that I could get to the place I am today until I committed to myself 100%. And every day I started showing up for myself. I wasn't worried about 2 days from now, a week from now. I was worried about what is my intention for today. I can't tell you how powerful it is for you to plant an intention and then watch it grow. Because when we start planting intentions that I want to heal this negative thought pattern, I want to have more control and love in my life. See, this is all third chakra stuff, ego stuff, negative thinking. When you plant that seed, watch out. Because when you walk into the world that day, that intention that you planted in the morning will come back to you later in the day in ways that you would never have seen before. Intentions are so important. A lot of people will say, I don't want to feel this pain anymore, but they don't put the intention in, how do I want to feel? And start visualizing, what would my day look like if I was to show up differently? Intentions and visualizing what that would look like. You don't have to look to the end result. Just look to the next day. Look for the next moment in the next afternoon. So paying attention to your thoughts is the deepest spiritual practice you'll ever have. The other stuff is beautiful and it's layered. We add layers to our spirituality to cultivating a life that we want. But to me, the most important part is paying attention to what your mind is trying to tell you. Intentionally setting what you want, where you want it to go, paying attention to whether your mind is telling you lies without arguing. So allowing it to see. So my ego will come up, of course, all our egos come up every day, all the time. If I'm judging somebody, now I will see it almost immediately and I'll say, wow, here I am judging that person. I know nothing about their situation. And then I remind myself to come back to myself. So these are really important things that could help you with this challenge. And it's just a few steps. So I don't want to give you a lot, but a few steps to walk towards yourself. And even breathing and just placing your hands on this spot is so powerful. We don't have to do these big things for our life to change. We do small things and our life changes in so many ways. But let go of the expectation. Let go of what you think you need to do. And let flow with what can happen. Pay attention. Plant your intentions. Attention, intention, and then tuning in. So I so hope that this spoke to you in some level. And when something speaks to you, you know it again, because you're not knowing it from here. You're knowing it from a soul level. It's a calling. It's like, yeah, that makes sense to me. I want to try that. That's when you know. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope that this helps you.